Ladies and Germans, how you all doing? This is Con Ulrich.
This is Rangru, hello, hello, hello.
And folks, we want to welcome you to another match today on Shechedrin. One newer division, one older division, but both of them rather smashing. Rang, who do we have? What do they bring into the fray?
Left hand side in the blue, we have Khers playing as the 4th Romanian mountain with a Maverick income. Right hand side in the red, we have Dark Neutron playing as the 1st French, also with a Maverick income.
So, honestly, I love seeing the French again. These guys came out far more recently, of course, than the Romanians. What should we be expecting this matchup between these two divisions?
Both pretty standard, high-end infantry spam divisions. Not a whole lot of armor on either side, so it should be a pretty even matchup. I mean, both sides' decks are pretty similar, just different equipment, but set up the same.
True. I mean, the one thing I do want to kind of make maybe a minor call out about is that the light recon vehicles over here from Khers, I would say he has a little bit of a buff there. Of course, that, like you said, true armor, while there may not be a lot for the French Foreign Legion, there still is some rather hefty, chunky boys there.
Yeah, we got the Wolverines, which can help out quite a bit, and come in the tank tab, which is quite interesting. We're seeing a Spitfire trying to blow up some anti-tank guns down south, but the IAR comes in and blows them up.
Which is good, because I mean, trading that out for an early anti-tank gun is not the, positionally, it's not god-awful, but you need to make sure you're taking out that air power sooner rather than later. We are going to see a good number of Legionnaires kind of jumping over here onto this hillside, and it's going to be an uphill battle, literally and figuratively, I would argue, for the Romanians at the moment.
Yeah, Legionnaires are pretty nasty with that, what's it called? I forgot the name of the trait. The Fanatical trait, yeah, there we go. I mean, the Romanian show, they do have some good CQC guys too, but the French definitely do outnumber, and also having the half-tracks help out a bit.
You know, actually, we didn't see this the last time. The Legionnaire hero, Jean Trenap over here, which is fascinating, actually. It's kind of cool because you don't often get infantry heroes quite like that level. Of course, we had, Dick Winters, but that's the unusual part. Up in the northern side, actually, the French have done decently. I mean, we're seeing clashes in the north and the south, kind of standard here, but neither one is really grabbing a committed advantage, I would argue.
Yeah, I think most of the pressure right now on both sides is on the southern side, so to speak. Actually pretty interested not seeing much going on up north. Actually pretty even Stevens, one flag per side. But it's all going to be who controls the southern hill, and Dark Neutron seems like he's going to be able to get control of it.
Oh man, we got to see the Venatori Chechatare. I'm sure I'm butchering that right there, but the double sniper, oh man, those guys are so much fun to watch. That double sniper is ridiculously good.
Yeah, so I always find it quite funny just how many bloody snipers the Romanians have available to them. So one country which I'd think would be like renowned for sniping in terms of like all the World War II tropes. You always think of like Finland.
That's true. Well, that's true. Even the Russians, I think, got a lot more fame. I think it's just got a lot more opportunities to spruce that up, shall we say?
Yep.
Triple mortar down to the south as well. So 3 60mm mortars. Actually, I think that's the perfect response to this.
Yeah, it's a very good response. I mean, 60mm mortars are so bloody good against infantry in this game, especially when you have them at essentially 3-star veterancy. I mean, you can blow up the infantry without having even to get close to them, which is quite ideal.
But geez, the P-47s have been dead. It's a second anti-tank gun that's gone down, and yeah, a long last we have a 20mm coming in. Engaging the wrong target, I would say, because I think that C-Fire is a little bit more of an immediate threat, at least to the IAR.
Yeah.
But oh no, second one coming on in, yeah. So the air war is going to go very much against, I would argue, the Allies here.
Yeah, and actually quite a lot of airplanes early on. I was not expecting this, but Khers is definitely going to be taking the victory here in the skies.
I'm surprised that the 60 mils were not the thing that was going to get hit by really that recon craft or even the P-47 bombing run. I kind of thought that would be a much more valuable target than to take out a single Pak-40, especially since the Pak-40, in my opinion, has a lot less immediate utility than those mortars do.
Yeah, right now those mortars, as you can see, and even forcing back the Greyhound right now, but the hill is still in Dark Neutron's control. He has a real good stranglehold of it. Maybe a big idea for Khers to push up north a bit, try to alleviate some of the pressure, but he is going to continue pushing down south and trying to become king of the hill.
Well, I mean, he has a minor ticket advantage, so I can kind of understand it. Um, so there's really no need for him to shove just yet. I mean, both guys are running, of course, with that Maverick income, which means that they're not going to really be playing for the kill. Oof, taking out a half track here. But they're not playing for the kill in this A phase. They want to go to that B phase and really, really kind of unleash there.
Yeah. We're seeing Mortars from Dark Neutron now to 81 mils. I wonder if he's going to use him to try and counter battery the 60 mils.
You have to think that he's going to, but the question, I suppose, becomes, what can the Romanians do in response to that? Because this is always that kind of counterplay between infantry divisions. If you get stuck in, and you're trying to kind of grind that advantage, how do you kind of assume what your opponent's going to do and, I guess, continue forwards from there?
Yeah, it'll just be an artillery roll until someone brings in the naval off map.
Which, looking up here, both decks, I mean, one's got the 105 spotter. Ooh. Oh no, 20 mils, never mind. I thought we actually had something a little bit crazier there, but no.
Oh.
These 60 mils are as heavy as it gets.
Yeah, it's actually quite surprising not seeing that much off-map from the Romanian side. Really just sticking to the mortars, and I mean, you and me, Khan, really love mortars. We love talking about them. We think it's some of the best units in the game still.
Oh, absolutely.
It's good to see them being used. Up north, we are seeing some infantry being brought up here from Khers. Maybe he's going to try and do a little bit of a push here, try to get that flag.
You called it perfectly, by the way. And you see the 81's already having an immediate effect, taking out one position with, I think, their first couple of shells. And the mortars are going the other direction. I don't think they even have... Yep, okay, so it's going to be counter battery back and forth here to the south. I love it. Okay.
Yeah. Actual artillery wars going on.
And the IAR, perfect positioning on this strafing run. That's a blind strafing run.
That's... Yeah, it has to be blind. That's nuts. That's absolutely pretty nuts.
Well done. Like, that's not easy. Well done.
That's very precise.
It should be getting out. The Seafire, I don't think, has enough chutzpah to get beyond there. Then again, I've been wrong before.
And you're wrong again. Such is casting.
Exactly. You know, that's a great thing about casting, is that it really helps you kind of come to grips with the fact that you're going to be wrong about 95% of the time.
Yeah. You see, if we don't speak, we'd never be wrong. It just wouldn't be an entertaining cast.
Exactly. But you know what? I think I just kind of hold on to the fact that this is my drug. Okay. You know, I'm coming off Corona for the second time. So this is my drug, man. I'm coming right back into it. This is what gets me healthy. Looking to the north, we do have maybe a tickle starting to come to the north. Nothing too crazy just yet. I'm gonna wait for a couple more minutes. I think that Dark Neutron is just trying to maybe amass some forces.
Yeah.
But dropping a beacon early here. He's looking for that Pack 38 at some point. Actually, how do you feel about this fixation? Do you think that makes a lot of sense?
Down south?
Well, forget the fixation. I mean, from both players down south. But attack beacon. Here comes an airstrike to the north. Another bombing run. Another investment of a lot of points. And yes, he kills a Pack 38. Well done there. But there's still so much infantry-based AT. There's still so much... You know, there's Mortars coming out in B phase. You said yourself, these are not, vehicle decks. Is he spending too much emphasis on that as opposed to going for infantry?
No, I think knocking out the anti-tank's good, because if you knock out the anti-tank and you can bring in the Stuarts and the Greyhounds, and they can deal with the infantry much more effectively.
Seems fair. That seems fair. Long play. We are going to see that red lung actually looks very much like it's going to be slowly eaten up here. It's not going to be an immediate take. I think he's only getting the territory right now because he's got to be dealing with some recce troops more than anything else. And mortars, okay. Man, so many mortars. Actually, the only other two mortars in the entire French deck. Ooh.
Yeah, this is quite a lot of early artillery, but especially on this hill position, it's such a good idea to always bring mortars from both sides, because it's very hard to get, tanks and fire support up here. It's a bit deadly at CQC, so you might as well do it a little bit more indirectly.
That's true, but I think my worry here was, from an artillery perspective, yes, you get the 105, I almost want to call it a biplane, but you get the 105 scout plane over here, but if you look over at the Romanians, they can get 12 mortars.
Yeah.
Which, there's 60 mils, there's a... They've been really, really good so far. Look at that southern hillside.
He's slowly but surely picking off the French run by run. He'd be very close to actually getting up on that hill and clearing it out. He still needs I say he needs some anti-tank, but he does have the dreaded tank destroyer, the Venator to KR-35.
Absolutely.
What a tank. It's like the Romanians had a bunch of R-35s. Like, you know, this 37mm gun sucks. We need it to be an anti-tank destroyer. So let's put in these Russian 45mm. They were doing this in 1944.
It's one of those things that I almost feel like this is a tank that screams for Gonzo rushes.
Even then, it's a very slow tank. It's more like a Gonzo crawl.
Oh yeah, but Gonzo nonetheless. Like this is a Gonzo tank. And I love the fact that still more mortars is shellacking that hillside. I did like seeing that we had that Pack 38, 97. Jeez, which one? Yeah, the 97-38. Excuse me, transposing a bit there. Was able to kind of shut down earlier kind of vehicle plays. So I guess I do have to kind of give a little more agreement to the fact that the French Foreign Legion has to be relying on taking out those anti-tank positions early to at least get a little bit of use out of things.
Yeah, we're just seeing a lot of counter battery from the 81 mils, trying to knock out those 60mm mortars and doing a really good job. I mean, those 60mm mortars are deadly, but it's only a 3-man squad, so they're pretty easy to kill, and the 81 mils do outrange them.
You know, something I just noticed here while checking out the whole potential supply situation, is when you're looking at the Romanians, they actually get 4 trucks. So I don't know. Maybe we got some Boita Lend-Lease stuff going on here, but I didn't realize that until just now. The French aren't even using 4 trucks.
No.
Yeah, they're GMCs, close enough. But I don't know. I don't know.
It was seen on the lung position here. Khers is managing to get a bit of a foothold. Very close to well, I'd say very close. That half track is standing between him, and he has no anti-tank on that hill to deal with it. But we're also seeing all the way up north a whole heap of infantry being brought to from Khers, and Dark Neutron is starting to move out his troops a bit forward. So I think the northern town's going to get a little bit hot.
You know, I think you're right. I do like the addition over here is a P4. One of the things that we kind of complain about in terms of the French groups here is that a lot of their infantry does not have the AT capability, and you can definitely see it over here on the northern side. Yes, they're fanatics. Yes, they have raiders. Yes, they even have leaders, but they are not able to stand up to MBTs.
Yeah, and that's going to be quite a bit of an issue here. I mean, that one Panther 4 can do a bit of damage.
Absolutely. And I think even them trying to stress out this Greyhound here is an excellent idea. A little bit weird to expend as much as they are, but the Seafire here as well, it's interesting.
See what the Seafire sees? Sees airplanes, that's something at least. And a Hellcat as well.
Oh no, Hellcat. This is going to get ugly.
I do love how the first French got these naval fighters. It's like a nice change of pace.
Well, now we have a Top Gun situation. Iceman's over here in the lead, and the Russian gets taken down. Way to go, Maverick.
Wait, they're both Maverick.
Oh, you silly bugger, you. Oh man, that's true. That's very true.
Yeah.
Well done. I still cringe at the idea of Top Gun 2. I don't know why. I don't know why. But I do know why. Right now, Khers is certainly in the lead here, and I think that's because of this infantry push to the north. It is 15-9.
Yeah, he's managed to capture both, well, just lost
one. It is 14-10.
It's holding the town position up north. He's managed to gain the hill down south, and he's also pretty close to getting the lung position. So he's got very good momentum on all of the flanks right now. So yeah, it's definitely leading him to victory. I mean, yeah, the hill down south has completely, you know, changed hands, so to speak.
Wait, Stewart against the...
Okay, there we go. That was a bit pathetic.
That makes more sense, but this one over here is still kind of sad.
Yeah.
No stabilizers. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, and one of the things I think I never really quite got to appreciate so much because I'm so used to seeing such ridiculous amount of anti-tank play looking at that southern road is if you stick an armored vehicle between the lungs and have them look to the southeast or southwest, that controls an awful lot of very valuable territory.
Yeah, holding, getting like good anti-tank guns on that hill just to cover the valley is such a huge component of this map. But yeah, we've barely really seen much armor play. Not much medium tank spam, mainly just a lot of light vehicles being used, which mainly just coming down to the infantry, artillery, and the airborne artillery.
Well, we have ourselves a bit of an attempt by these pioneers to get into the trees here. They're going to get there. They're not going to like what they find, but they're going to get there.
No. Yeah, the
Wow.
Romanians are dug in really well.
And they have the territory that matters, too.
Yeah. It's really going to come down to Dark
jeez.
Neutron using the mortars on the southern hill to regain position. Now, maybe the Sherman. The Sherman would probably be pretty good if he doesn't get that suicidally close to the Panzerschreck.
I have to just call out the fact that to the north, the issue with having all your mortars in the south is that you have no mortars in the north, and we're seeing the cost of that right about now. Spitfire is probably going to take out both these mortars, and that's fine. That's fine. That's legitimately fine, because you have, first, the IAR is going to get some long-distance kind of tickling here, and I don't think the Bofors are going to be able to take him out before that... Oh, no, never mind.
Oh.
I always credit him for being a lot faster than he is, that IAR.
Yeah. Yeah, anti-air is just so bloody deadly now. Even just two Bofors guns like that will just shut down any and all airplay.
But, more than enough to still get to insert... Oh my gosh, look at this infantry! Look at that to the north! That was a beautiful little, like, sneak. He's got the southern... That eastern bridge on the northern flank.
Wow,
They snuck two troops around. That's... Wow.
You don't really see that play being done a lot often, but that's going to get him an easy flag. He could also get another flag if he was really ballsy, but honestly, he's in a good enough position as is.
You know, one of the things I think I probably would have liked to have seen a little bit earlier here, there's a 105 howitzer now starting to shell the south. I think I would have preferred to see howitzers over mortars. What do you think about that?
Like, I don't know, I think
from the French earlier, to pull out, to invest more in the howitzers as opposed to the mortars. I
think the mortars would have been fine enough. It's just price. Because if you invested in too many howitzers early on, you wouldn't have enough frontline units. I mean, the direct fire howitzers are pretty decent for the French deck, especially against an infantry division, but I think just the fast firing radio-based mortars is more than enough for that hill position.
No. So let me maybe be a little bit more precise here, as we see another P-47 being awfully precise by himself. A lot of the times you see this kind of eastern lung, especially from the right side player here, you'll see a support gun in one of those northern forests, and I think one of the weaknesses of that position is that there really was no support weaponry there.
Oh yeah.
Yes, there was a half-track. Yes, there was some minor kind of infantry there, but you weren't seeing that kind of committed play that would have more kind of distance, reach out and touching somebody else, let's say.
No, exactly. I mean, Khers managed to just walk up right on the hill with really just infantry. He's barely been using any armored vehicles, so a few machine guns or like the direct fire howitzer probably would have been enough to keep him at bay. And we're just seeing a huge investment of infantry down south from Khers, and I mean, Dark Neutron's trying to get on the hill, but it's not sufficing.
Well, yeah, when you have the R-35s actually getting a couple crits here and there in that Sherman, and the Sherman can't even see him, I don't think.
It's pretty pathetic.
And he kills him,
Oh
too.
my...
Wow.
Wow. I guess it is a tank destroyer. Sometimes it can destroy tanks.
Yes, and it was also kind of funny to watch the Venatori over here just shoot and kill a Jeep with a sniper rifle. I guess he was used as a sniper elite vision and shot the gas tank.
Yeah, that must be it.
It must be it.
Must be it. But yeah, Khers has just got a really good bloody point advantage. He's managed to control the north, south, and central areas of the map, and I think it just came down to, I don't know, it feels like armor was the main key here for Khers, because there really wasn't a whole lot of anti-tank in his arena as the Panzer IVs are being invested into, and even just the R-35s. Dark Neutron hasn't been able to really deal with that stuff.
I'm still going to maintain and say that the biggest issue here is that there's an overabundance of bombing on specifically anti-tank targets. Yes, I know you disagree with me, I totally get it, but with this thing right here, if you're not spending 130 points to bring in any kind of super early air power, look how much infantry he could have brought instead. He could have boosted
Yep.
the line. He could have gone in and kind of shored things up a little bit. I don't know.
Oh, I agree. I agree. Actually, in that point, because he needed more, like, he needed the howitzers and more Shermans and just frontline direct fire support rather than the airborne artillery.
I mean, and you will see right now the KD is fairly close. I think this is because we do have that tap out, and because we don't see the usual kind of, let's just say armor hurling that happens in every single direction. And you can see that because of that, Spitfire's got 3 kills, but that's really it for the French. And the snipers on the other side, the snipers are actually the deadly ones.
Oh,
the
yeah.
quiet ones.
The Vanatories managing to pick off quite a bit. I mean, that run R35 knocking out the Stuart and the Sherman are really impressive from a tank destroyer of that caliber, but really nothing crazy.
Of that caliber, really? We got to do a stealth pun there?
Yes, yes.
Okay, alright, sorry, continue.
It's a raider pun.
Ah, yes. Yeah, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, nothing too crazy from both sides in terms of, like, there's no super unit killing everything.
No, and you know what? We talked about, I think, a lot of where things could have gone a little bit better over here for Dark Neutron. I don't know. I still find that the French Legion over here has its own kind of benefits. I just don't think we got to see them really kind of put it on full display today.
Yeah, it's just needed more frontline units. Like, you need the Shermans and the tanks to back them up, and Reshoot kind of screwed them over by not having that.
Yep. But regardless, any final thoughts, sir?
No.
Well, folks, in that case, then, we will see you Thursday. Until that time, I'm Conalwork.
I'm Rangru. Take it easy.